What's good, you guys? You know who it is, man. It's your boy, Mr. Relentless Lex, and I'm back like I never left this mother. Yes, sirski. Hello, somebody. All right, so man, we're back on the Urban Net channel. This video is called Wendy Williams finally comes out and reveals who was paid to end her. Now it's been allegedly saying that Wendy was diagnosed with dementia and other illnesses, and she didn't even have them, bro. They had Wendy like in some type of psych ward / crazy house, stealing money from her. She got a divorce from her Kevin Hunter ex-husband. He stole the money. The son was giving her problems, bro. Everybody was the power of attorney that she had was stealing her money, bro. It was so much going on with Wendy, bro. But now I'm thinking she's doing a whole lot better from what I've heard, bro. Shout out to Wendy Williams for fighting through the adversities of life. But we're going to get straight to the video, man. Let's go.
According to a new report, Wendy Williams does not have frontotemporal dementia.
It looks like Wendy is finally getting out of her messy guardianship after new test results revealed that she was intentionally misdiagnosed with a bunch of mental illnesses she doesn't have. What's worse is that the same team that was appointed to her by the court is the one allegedly behind this misdiagnosis. Wendy has been screaming at us for months, telling everyone that she isn't crazy, but no one was listening to her. Nicki Minaj even stepped in to spill the tea about what they were doing to Wendy, but no one took her seriously. Apparently, Nicki did this because she is next in line to be misdiagnosed and thrown into a conservatorship. But as usual, folks are going to ignore her just like they did Wendy till it's too late. This entire mess went down a couple of days ago when
they did the same thing to Britney Spears, bro. If they can't get you, bro, that's one thing about the higher ups in the industry and everything. If they can't get you one way, they're going to get you the other way. Their job is to make sure you downfall on your face flat and your whole career is finito. Like, they ain't gonna stop. They're gonna do whatever it takes to get you they own you to the day you die. Once you take that oath, they own you to the day you leave
TMZ reported that Wendy underwent a series of neurological tests by an unnamed top neurologist in New York, and he concluded that Wendy didn't have the condition that has kept her in a guardianship for years. Mind you, they've thrown this woman in multiple mental health facilities, canceled her TV show, kept her from her family, and shoved drugs down her throat over this illness, only for it to turn out she didn't even have the illness to begin with. This is some wicked work, and from what Wendy is saying, it wasn't a mistake. It was a deliberate attempt from Wells Fargo to hoard her money and do as they please with it. Wells Fargo was the one who started this mess when they pushed for her to have a court-appointed guardian because she was incapable of managing her own financial affairs and at risk of exploitation. She was diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia and aphasia, and from this point on, it was up. What's even more shady about the whole thing is that just because Wendy's legal guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, took over, there were reports that Wendy was getting better. So how did she go from that to suddenly having all these illnesses right when Sabrina stepped in? Even Wendy's son, Kevin Jr., called out the BS when he commented this under a post the Shade Room made about Wendy's diagnosis. He also said Wendy's doctor told them that Wendy's dementia was alcohol-induced, but for some reason, her team was still allowing her to have a lot of alcohol. They also cut all ties with her family, meaning her family didn't know where she was or what was being done to her.
I feel like the Guardian has not done a good job of protecting my mom.
Wendy has since tried so many times to get out of the guardianship, but they are not letting up. She even had a couple of independent evaluations done to determine that she didn't have the illnesses that she was being labeled with, but they still insisted that she did. Mind you, according to experts, people with frontotemporal dementia only get worse after their diagnosis. But Wendy has exhibited remarkable neurological resilience since she became clean and sober 3 years ago. TMZ claims that Wendy's legal team will file legal docs with the court in the next 2 weeks, paving the way for a hearing where they will ask the judge to terminate the guardianship. If the judge digs in and refuses to end the guardianship, powerhouse lawyer Joe Tacopina will then demand a jury trial and ask jurors to free Wendy. When Wendy initially got sucked into this guardianship, the #1 suspect on everyone's list was Diddy, because he and Wendy have a long history. And anyone who has been keeping up with them knows that Diddy has been wanting to destroy Wendy for the longest time. Wendy accused him of receiving an oral from a man. She said someone had emailed her photos of Diddy during his—
Wendy was the first person ever, bro, to bring out Diddy shenanigans, bro. The first person ever that I know of that began to talk about Diddy behind the scenes activities. And she said it on national TV. She said it on her show, bro. After that, our eyes been on Diddy.
Vacation in Mexico, and in those photos, another man was doing the you-know-what to him.
Wendy Williams, she got fired from Hot 97 because she had a picture of Puffy. So if you don't mind, give me the story from your point of view, and what was in the picture?
We were in Cancun. For whatever reason, dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. Some girls that was taking pictures.
So listen,
they took
this is my thing right here, bro. How did Wendy Williams get this picture of Puff? I know money talks, but how did she know the picture even existed? Could it be Exhibit A? Gene Deal. He was there. He's telling the whole story right now. That was that side money, bro. The same way Gene Deal telling stuff right now, you don't think he was telling stuff back then? When they probably say, yo, Gene, I give you $50,000 for a picture. Every picture you send me, I give you $50,000. I would have sitting them motherfuckers too.
We were in Cancun. For whatever reason, dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. Some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams said she had him in a compromising position and like he was gay, something like that. She was gonna put it out. Wendy had shown people that email. Puff told.
How do Wendy know unless the girls reached out to Wendy and told Wendy that they had the pictures? This story could be made up. I think it was Gene Deal, bro. He got a damn good story, but I think Gene Deal sold them damn pictures to Wendy.
Hot 97, if they didn't get rid of her before he got back in New York, that they was not gonna get any music from any of his friends, any of the record labels executives that was cool with him. Everybody was gonna boycott their station. We was out in LA for about 3 days before we landed back in New York. Wendy Williams was in the radio station in Philly. She was fired.
We come from a very homosexual era of hip hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake.
You are Wendy Williams, crazy.
Talking about such. And now it's all come full circle. There were many situations, none of which to talk about, but there were many situations back in the day in my career, and it's all coming full circle now, so.
And remember the time then 19-year-old Shine took the fall for Diddy for that club shooting incident? Wendy was the one who found the circumstances suspicious and called for it to be properly investigated. She even questioned the whole thing, claiming that Diddy and J-Lo were hiding something. She was also one of the only people to call out Diddy and Cassie's relationship way before Cassie even left him.
He ran out of the club so fast and got into the waiting SUV that it wasn't until he got into the truck that he realized that he left Jennifer behind, along with his bodyguard, Anthony Wolf. He just like ran. You know, forget it. That's a true sign of an itch bag, by the way. Leaving as well. I thought it was an unpay. Well, eventually, Jennifer and Wolf made their way to the SUV without Puffy. Right. They ran 11 lights to elude the cops. Supposedly it was Puffy, although people are saying they saw a female hand tossing a the window. And then when the cops stopped them, they found a second gun, of course, in the car. Right. All four of the occupants, the driver, the bodyguard, Puffy and Jennifer, were handcuffed and taken down to the police. Puffy and his bodyguard, Wolf, were overheard talking about their plot to bribe the driver to take the rap for the. And Puffy was overheard saying, and I quote, because the prosecutor said this, "I can't go to jail, I'm Puff Daddy."
He was arrested with a deadly weapon. And
Puffy wants Cassie back. Oh, it's been all over social media. Puffy posted a picture of Michael Jackson's song, Lady in My Life, and wrote, if anyone sees Cassie this weekend, please tell her to listen to this song 100 times. I suggest don't use social media, though, to reach out. I think this is a grand overture from Puffy. I don't believe he really wants her back. I believe he probably treated her at some particular point like a possession. Like a possession.
Wow.
And
Wendy
if
called
you really
that
care,
a long
then you
time
reach
ago.
out privately, not publicly.
Y'all had bad blood for a while.
real bad.
Real bad blood.
The worst blood.
The worst blood. You almost He wanted to run you out of New York at one point, right? Well, not run, like push you out of New York at one point. He had you ran out. You give him full credit for that? Okay, cool. He had you ran out of New York.
Things got so bad that Diddy even threatened her then 16-year-old son. So what happened was, Wendy invited Diddy for an interview. During the interview, he randomly brought up her son in their conversation, which made Wendy visibly nervous because she knew there was a reason he brought her son up. A lot of people feel like he did this to warn her to stay out of his business, or he was going to hurt him.
As the mother of a now 16-year-old.
Who I met backstage,
He did?
He's a great young man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You represent a lot.
Now, when it comes to Nicki Minaj, she might be a lot of things, but a liar isn't one of them. And it looks like people are finally realizing that. You see, because of Wendy and Diddy's relationship, people were convinced that Diddy was the only one responsible. But according to Nicki's recent claims, Jay-Z and Roc Nation also had a hand in Wendy's problems, and they are now trying to do the same thing to her. A few days ago, she got into it with Charlemagne over an interview he did with Gucci Mane and Keisha, and in response to the interview, she accused Roc Nation of using Charlemagne to get Wendy in that guardianship. Charlemagne the fraud is Jay-Z friend and business associate, using Heart Radio for these disgusting ploys against innocent families. He was around Wendy before her life went to hell. The buck stops here, baby.
Yes,
Bookmark this.
But Charlemagne came up under Wendy Williams, right? She was the one that kind of put Charlemagne on. So for him to double back and try to befriend Jay-Z and go against Wendy, that's crazy, bro. And Charlemagne is from my state, South Carolina, which is like Columbia, like an hour away from me, bro. And we don't move like that. So if Charlemagne did this intentionally, that's really effed up,
Tweet.
bro.
Tasha K also stepped into the chat, and she gave us more details about what Nicki was talking about. Tasha said Roc Nation has allegedly been plotting to get Nicki in a guardianship too, just like Wendy. But the only thing that is stopping them from being able to do that is her husband, Kenneth Petty. Since she's married to Ken, even if they succeed in getting doctors to diagnose her with mental health issues she doesn't have, all her money will automatically go to Ken since he's her husband. And if you take a look at all the celebrities who were thrown into a conservatorship, none of them were married. Britney wasn't married, and Wendy was divorced by the time Wells Fargo gave her a guardian. If they were married, it would have been much harder for her to be put in a guardianship.
This is not something that is like a conspiracy theory. This actually happens. But if they're able to separate Nicki and Kenny, that makes Nicki vulnerable because your husband is your power of attorney. Your husband is your signator on all of your accounts in the event anything goes wrong. Michael wasn't married. Britney Spears was married, but of course they control all of that. And so the mere fact that all these narratives are out about Kenny stealing this to buy chains and buy that, that's not what it is. It's like, they got doctors that are giving out these diagnoses saying that she's schizophrenic and bipolar and all of this stuff. And then Kenny's now here. She trusts Kenny. Of course, they've known each other since they were kids. Their families know each other. And so Kenny is just in the way. And so what do? You create narratives to try to separate, because if you separate, then you can divide and conquer. And so that's what it's about. She's going into her latter years and, there's a lot of money on the line and she's worth a lot, but Kenny is in the way. And so, look at what they're doing to Wendy Williams. Had Wendy would have still been with Kelvin, they wouldn't have been able to put her under a conservatorship because she has a husband. So, and like I said, there was only one that was accused of stealing. We're going to leave it at that. Okay.
Y'all gonna stop twisting my damn words. Nicki Minaj ain't got no schizophrenia. They tried to 5150 Kanye for being bipolar. It's a mood disorder. Then turned around and attempted to seize his assets just because he was talking his ish. Meanwhile, Wendy Williams is sitting in a luxury hospital suite while her lawyers spend her money. Michael Jackson's gone, and Britney Spears had to flee the US to Mexico just to feel free after years under that conservatorship. What part don't y'all understand? This is a systemic industry takedown. meant to make her look incapable of managing her own money. And let's be clear, Kenny, the husband, is in the way. All this started after she tweeted about that damn COVID vaccine. It's now being speculated that these reports about Wendy being misdiagnosed isn't a coincidence like the industry wants us to believe. Allegedly, they had to put her in that guardianship while Diddy's trial was actively happening, so she wouldn't testify in court about what she went through in his hands. But now that the trial is over, she isn't a threat anymore, so they can let her out. And honestly, this checks out because Wendy had multiple independent tests done to prove she wasn't sick, and none of them were taken seriously. But right when Diddy's trial ended, a test was done, and now they actually decided to take her seriously? And let's not forget how they are now labeling Nicki Minaj crazy, just when rumors started going around about Jay-Z being next in line after Diddy. These people are playing in our face, and it's beginning to get harder and harder to ignore. As usual, people had their own opinions. This person who said, Wendy's family should sue the doctor that misdiagnosed her with dementia. That misdiagnosis is the cause that led to a myriad of bad events that impacted Wendy's life.
Yep.
Another person said, they sold Wendy's condo, gave away her beloved pet, got rid of thousands of dollars of furniture, clothing, and personal effects. Wendy self-admitted stints in rehab for substance use. Bottom line, free Wendy. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Wendy finally getting out of her guardianship? And do you think Nicki Minaj is really the next to be put in a guardianship? Let me know your...
Man. I swear, bro. It seems like, to me, Nicki is well on her way to be put in the same type of guardianship that Wendy is in. But Kenneth, her husband, Kenneth, he's saving her, bro. The marriage is saving her, bro, because he's the in charge, next in line for her money and her assets by her. Now, apparently they don't have a prenup. Apparently, because what if they had a prenup? Then they could still get Nicki like how they did Wendy. So I'm thinking like, they can't have a prenup and they can't do nothing about. And maybe Nicki had knew this the whole time, bro. Because she's seen them play out like this before. So that's probably another reason why she did marry the guy. But besides the fact they know each other for years and the family members know each other and everything. And it could be real love, But at the same token, she did a smart thing when she married that guy. Or got married, period. Because if she didn't, she would have been SOL, just like the rest of them, bro. So shout out to Nicki Minaj, bro, and for being quick on her feet and thinking. But they still gonna try to get her some way or another, bro. Either way you put it, they ain't finished with Nicki yet. And shout out to Wendy Williams for being misdiagnosed in a good way. It's a terrible event that she had to go through these things in her life, but at least she's conquered it. She didn't really go insane. She's probably gonna bounce back pretty decent, She still got some bread, I'm pretty sure.